Ashhadu anna Muhammad Abdullah Rasul. I openly bear witness that none deserve to be worshipped except Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah from over 1400 years ago is a slave servant, last prophet, and is the seal of all the prophets, and his messenger. I greet you in the greetings of peace, of us, the best greeting, from Abraham, Adam, to Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just want to impart a little information. I'm glad to see a lot of you brothers and sisters here today. I want to just impart a little information, and inshallah, the little information that we impart would benefit us and last us, inshallah, to the following week. I want to start off with in Surah, in the Noble Quran, of Al-Namj, and that's they translated it Al-Namj as be the stars. There's a lot of very interesting stuff in that surah, but I want to point out a particular verse, and inshallah we get something out of this. And I want to recite something of what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in terms of this verse. It's a short verse. وَإِن Asa li'id nasnin it what وَإِن لَيْسَ لِيَنْ نَسِينَ إِلَّا مَا سَأَلَ. It says that man can have nothing but what he strives for. Simple verse. No verse is not. The next verse, that's 39 in the Quran. 53, that's 39. Then you go to 40. But we only going to deal with 53. That man can have nothing but what he strives for. Now, we heard people say that talk is cheap. We heard that. You hear that all the time. He just talking. She just talking. Right? And why we say that? Why do people say that? Normally they say that is because they don't expect the person to put forth no action with that talk. That's why they say it. Allah said that man can't have nothing but what he strives for. So when you say something and you do it, what happens? You get results. Especially if you keep working on it and keep working on it and keep working on it, then something got to happen. If you're applying the information that you know, or you're following the plan or the diagram that you got laid out for you, something got to give. Something got to give. So you know what happens a lot of times? We plan stuff, or we say we're going to do stuff, and then we had the intentions of doing it, but then we get lazy. We get lazy, or we start it and we fall off. We fall off. And that right there, when we fall off, then we're never going to accomplish what we strive for. Allah said here that man can't have nothing but what he strives for. Okay, you can say, I want a nice car. I want a nice house. I want a successful business, right? I want a mattress that costs $2,500 so I can get me some sleep, right? But you ain't going to get it if you don't work on it, if you don't get the money up, if you don't do what you got to do to make it happen. A lot of us right here in America, you know, this food that we eat, right? A lot of us walking around here with pot bellies. Now, we're supposed to be following the sunnahs, right? Did the prophet, when you read the prophet had pot belly? Well, you know, one thing about coming over this minbar, you got to speak the truth. Sometimes people might get a little uneasy. I got one. Working on it. I've been working on it for 2 days now. You know, you might think you find that I'm working on it for 6 months. Now I've been working on it for 2 days now, because I realized, man, I gotta lose this, man. I ain't walking around here with no looking like I'm 9 months pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man, supposed to be a flat belly. See, you ain't gonna get. I can talk about it, but until I put in the work, right? I ain't gonna get it. Allah said that man can't have nothing but what he strives for. You want that house? You gotta get it. What they say, you got to get your credit score. We live in America. It's all based on credit scores. When you get your credit score in a certain position, and you had it for a while, and you utilizing your credit cards, and you paying them on time, right? What happened? They increase your score. And when your score is up to a certain point, sometimes you can walk up into a lot, and you don't have to put no money down. You don't have to put nothing down. Your credit speaks for itself. You see? Man can have nothing but what he strives for. And then Allah says that the fruits وَإِنْ سَأَ يَهُ سَوْمْ فَيُرَيَ. That the fruits of his striving will soon come into sight. Now, like I was saying, I worked out for 2 days. Man, when you do them crunches, oh man, it hurt. I had to tell the machine, man, when it said, do you want to increase it, make it a little harder, you want to make it a little easier, or you want to keep it the same? I said, make it a little easier. Because them crunches, man, they be hurting your stomach, especially you ain't did nothing in a while, you know? But if I keep on going, because this, you know, I only did it for 2 days, and it seemed like, and I changed my diet a little bit, it seemed like it went down a little bit. Maybe I'm imagining things, but it went down a little bit. You know, I feel better. You know, I felt a little tight when I went out, like, come on now, what's up? Come on, I felt a little better. You know, when you in shape, you know, you can talk a little junk, you know what I'm saying? You feel like, you know, I can handle them, I can take them. I know I can take them, you know, when you be in shape, you know? That's how I be, though. You know what I'm saying? You know, you guys that you working out, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But listen, we just basically saying that man shall have nothing but what he strives for. And the fruits of his striving shall soon come to sight. But we have to work on it. We have to work on it. Whatever you're doing, if you're trying to learn history, if you're trying to learn how to solve some of these problems, let's say in the Muslim community. We have problems in the Muslim community. We don't own enough. We don't own enough stuff. We don't have the unity that we should have, you know? But how we get it? We got to strive for that, you know? One leader that was among us, named Al-Hajj Malik Shabbat, he got this saying from another brother. But he said that if you're not a part of the solution, then you are a part of the problem. See, we can always say, point the finger and say, well, they, you know, should be doing this. They, you know, they need to do this. They need to do that. They need to do. Who is they? Who is they? Who is they? No. If you ain't going to help solve the problem, then be quiet. Honestly, be quiet. If you ain't going to help, if you see the problem, you ain't going to try to help solve them, then ain't nothing to talk about. Unless you're going to form a meeting, right, and bring up these issues to the proper authorities. That's how you change the problem. Oh, they need to do this here, and they ain't got this going on, and they ain't got this going on. But you're a part of this, right? And what are you doing to help bring this about? And we all sometimes are guilty of this. Pointing the finger, backbiting, pointing the finger, right? But man can have nothing but what he strives for. If you want to see those things change, you want to see those things get better, then you got to put your foot in the door and try to see what you can do. Brother Imam, what can I do to help? Brother Secretary, what can I do to help? You understand what I'm saying? You follow me? You follow me? Alhamdulillah. Allah said that man shall have nothing but what he strives for, and that the fruits of his striving shall soon come to sight. So once you start getting involved, you start working on that belly, right? To get it down, You start working on get your breath, so breathing right, right? Doing that exercise. A lot of us got treadmills at home we don't even use. I know we do. A lot of us got treadmills. We got exercise. We got ropes, right? We got weights for the ankle. We don't even use them. We got the park right across the street from. We don't even go and walk the track. We need to. Hey, if Prophet Muhammad, I think I'm safe to say that, if Prophet Muhammad was the best example, then I think that he was in shape. I would say that he was in shape. If he was, because why would Allah say that the Prophet Muhammad was the best example, right, for us, and he wasn't in shape, and he wasn't even trying to get in shape? He was in shape. So we should get in shape. Get in shape, not just physically, mentally, spiritually, and morally. It takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. It takes time. But if we work on it, whatever it is, the fruits of our striving should soon come into sight. Sorry. Prophet Muhammad said in authentic hadith, actions are bought by intentions. Actions are bought by intentions. And every man shall get but what he intended. And he whose migration was for Allah and his messenger, surely his migration was for Allah and his messenger. And he whose migration will get some worldly benefit, or to take some woman in marriage, his migration was what he migrated for. What did that say? What is that talking about? Your intentions should be followed by action. Whatever you intend to do, whatever you striving for, Allah knows what your intent was. You know what your intent was. If you, like, that hadith was dealing with when they migrated, when Allah gave the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam permission to migrate from Mecca, when they was being tormented and things like that, and the religion, they was trying to put out the light of Allah. They was trying to put out Islam. They wanted to stop Islam, because Islam, even in this country right here, if Islam was established, no more whorehouses, no more bars, no more liquor stores, no more cigarettes, no more of this here medication that has side effects. You understand what I'm saying? Free education, right? Free dentistry, free hospitalization. This is how the Muslim society, because when zakat is circulated and the way it's supposed to be, and everybody paying that, we talked about that before. Everybody paying that 2.5%. It got to be set up though, and then everybody paying that 2%, and then you pay a little side of. But when you pay that 2.5%, and everybody doing it, paying that 2.5%, it's like if you made a certain amount of money per year and you take out, you doing it for the sake of Allah. Allah know. Man, listen, Allah. I've been paying my zakat each year, right? Hypothetically speaking, I've been paying my zakat each year. So now that gives the community enough money to make the moves. You can make moves. See, a lot of times we be lacking on money, but man should have nothing but what he strives for, and the fruits of his striving should soon come into sight. That's what Allah said, and the Prophet said, actions is but by intentions, and every man shall get that which he intended. So when we talking about when they migrated, right? When Allah gave permission to migrate, right? Some people migrated for Allah and his messenger. And some people migrated, to get some worldly benefit. When they get in Medina, they could get something, establish some type of business or this, that. That's what their intentions was, right? And some went there hoping to find a nice, pretty woman that he can marry, Actions were by intention. And every man should have but what he intended. And he whose migration was for Allah and his messenger, surely his migration was for Allah and his messenger. And he whose migration to get some worldly benefit or to take some woman in marriage, his migration was that which he migrated. So, you see it? So, when we're intending to do something, make sure our intentions is right. Everything for a Muslim, that's each and every Muslim, male and female in this room. Whatever we do, this is supposed to be our philosophy. This is supposed to be run through our blood, through our everything in our being. That whatever we do it to please Allah. That is the true Muslim mindset. Whatever we do to please Allah. You give somebody something to help them out, you do it to please Allah. That's supposed to be your ultimate goal. Now, sometimes we do a lot of good and people don't show appreciation. They don't show appreciation. And then what happens, it hurts, man, when you see people, when you done did so much to help a person develop and stay out of trouble or this, that, and the other or whatever, and they haven't said nothing about it or whatever. They make it seem like they did all this themselves. You know, in the hadith, right, I read that how you repay a person, that you tell people what they did for you. Yeah, tell people. That's how. Then that person don't be trying to say, reminding of your generosity, where he end up, where Allah say, you reminding people of your generosity, and then you cancel out your charity. Allah don't want us to do that, to cancel out our charity by reminding people what we did for them. But it's in human nature sometimes, you know, I got to let them know, man. You know what I'm saying? He running around here, and, you know, like he got everything on his own, you know, and I helped him. And that's in our nature sometimes to remind people. You know, a lot of times we do things for our children, and they be all ungrateful, and we got to remind them. Look for your rewards with Allah. It's hard, man. I know it's hard, because we human. But we got to look for our rewards with Allah. Whatever we do is to please Allah. So we're going to close out with the verse that we started off with. That man shall have nothing but what he strives for, and that the fruits of his strive, the fruits talking about the results, the progress he made by constantly working on the thing. Everybody in here got something that they're working on. And you won't accomplish it unless you stay with it, stick with it long enough until you start seeing progress. I know sometimes things going to be hard. You're going to fall into bumps and roadblocks, and people might be all up in your way. But you know what? Man shall have nothing but what he strives for. And Allah said the fruits of his striving shall soon come into sight. And then Allah said, then will he be rewarded with a reward complete. Whatever you were striving for, now you got the results of it. That's what it's talking about when Allah said, then will he be rewarded with a reward complete. That's what it's talking about. You working out, you had a pot belly, 6 months, you look in the mirror, you see them pictures where they have it before and after, you say, wow, you was like this, now you came down like this. Ah, I look good now, boy. I'm getting ready to go put on my brown suit, man. Ah, yeah. You see? Right? You're working on that house, getting your credit, you're paying your bills on time, right? Now, your credit score will go up. Oh, my God. Let me check my bank. All right, let me check Credit Karma. Let me check annual report. Okay, it say, wow, it say I got 720. Over here, it say I got 759. And over here, it say I got almost 800. And they go by this one, this credit person, more than they go by this. So that's really what I got. Now I can go in there and get that house. And I'm making enough money for the mortgage. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm coming from? Man shall have nothing but what he strives for, and that the fruits of his striving will soon come into sight. Then he will be rewarded with a reward that's complete. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قامت الصلاة قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Make sure the line's straight, brothers, like an arrow. And for the brothers, I'm just telling you something. Listen, don't make your feet too wide like that. Close them up. Make them, if your shoulder's not that wide, that's how the lines get messed up. They get messed up. When you come up, then the brother be on this side of you, because you got your feet too wide, and your shoulder's not that wide. Your shoulder, if your shoulder's like that, then your feet should be like that. But you should have your feet the same width of your shoulder, and that'll keep the lines tight, because our Prophet Muhammad wanted us to touch one another. You know what I'm saying? Shoulder to shoulder, toe to toe. We're supposed to touch. And we know right now we're dealing with this, so I don't really sweat it too much, you know. But we do have the masses. Is the line straight, brothers?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to go ahead going into Salat, inshallah. May Allah accept all our Salats. Pray for your brothers that's sick in the hospital. And if you get a chance, go see them. If you know that somebody in the hospital, visit the grave. All those things is good for a Muslim. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. وقش إنا أنزلنا الله في كش إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل أعوذ برب الفلق ومن شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر وسواس الناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمي الله لمن حمده ربنا لك الحمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ألف لام ميم ذلك كتب لا ريب فيه هدى للمسلمين يقيمون رزقهم ينفقون. أفلح المؤمنون. الله أكبر. سمي الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. The couple of may Allah accept our worship.